Underestimation is a common human tendency, often arising from appearances, preconceived notions, or prior biases, and it can mask the true skill and potential of individuals in ways that are both subtle and dramatic. In high-pressure environments such as combat training, this tendency is particularly pronounced, as observers quickly form judgments based on superficial assessments rather than demonstrated capability. The recruit who faced mockery for her grip exemplifies this principle vividly. When she first entered the training area, the whispers and smirks of her peers reflected a collective assumption that she lacked the necessary strength, technique, or composure to succeed in a demanding exercise. The mockery was not malicious in a calculated way. Rather, it stemmed from a tendency to evaluate others based on immediate perception, a tendency that often overlooks latent talent. Underestimation can be both a social and psychological phenomenon. Socially, it manifests in group behavior, where individuals echo one another's assumptions, reinforcing the belief that someone is incapable before they have a chance to prove themselves. Psychologically, it can create internal pressure for the person being underestimated, as well as the opportunity to channel doubt into motivation. In the case of the recruit, the initial ridicule highlighted how easily skill can be obscured by surface judgments. The observers focused on her hands, her posture, and the way she held her weapon, assuming these indicators alone were sufficient to predict performance. They failed to account for underlying factors such as training, muscle memory, mental discipline, and situational awareness, all qualities that are invisible until called upon in a critical moment. This scenario underscores an essential lesson. True skill is not always immediately observable. It requires the right conditions to reveal itself. While observers assumed weakness, the recruit had spent countless hours honing her technique, reinforcing her grip, and practicing responses to a wide range of combat scenarios. Her preparation existed quietly, unnoticed by those around her, but it was precisely this invisible foundation that allowed her to act decisively when the moment arrived. Underestimation also provides a unique advantage to those being judged. When others lower their expectations, it creates an opportunity to exceed them dramatically. The element of surprise amplifies the impact of demonstrated skill, as the audience's initial assumptions collapse in real time. For the recruit, the mockery and doubt from peers became a source of focus and determination rather than discouragement. It highlighted the disparity between perception and reality, motivating her to prove that competence cannot be measured by superficial evaluation. Furthermore, underestimation challenges conventional notions of authority and experience. The two instructors, seasoned veterans of combat training, initially relied on visual cues and assumptions, believing that the recruit could not pose a threat. This reliance on surface judgment demonstrates that even experienced observers are susceptible to underestimating potential. Their surprise during the exercise revealed that skill and readiness are often hidden beneath the surface, only becoming evident in moments of application. The incident also illustrates that underestimation is not static. It is an evolving perception that shifts once actual performance is observed. The initial doubt transforms into respect, admiration, or even awe as true capability is revealed. In this sense, underestimation acts as both a barrier and a catalyst. It is a barrier in that it creates unjust expectations and biases, but it is a catalyst because it can provoke extraordinary demonstrations of talent when individuals rise to the challenge. Underestimation emphasizes the importance of preparation, resilience, and mental fortitude. A person who has honed their skills diligently is able to convert doubt into action, transforming the social dynamics of the environment. The recruit's 8-second disarming of two instructors is a testament to how hidden capability, when unleashed at the right moment, can completely overturn preconceived notions. It also serves as a lesson for observers. Reliance on surface-level judgments can obscure recognition of genuine ability and potential. Those who are underestimated often possess qualities that are only revealed under pressure, demonstrating that appearances can be misleading. The situation highlights the critical interplay between perception, skill, and opportunity. Observers formed assumptions based on limited information, while the recruit's preparation and composure allowed her to exploit the opportunity created by those assumptions. The moment underscores a universal principle. The underestimated often have the most to prove, and when provided the chance, they can redefine expectations completely. Underestimation, therefore, is a double-edged phenomenon. It reflects human bias and limited perception, yet it simultaneously sets the stage for remarkable demonstrations of skill and potential. Those who have been underestimated carry with them the ability to surprise, impress, and teach profound lessons about capability, resilience, and the limits of judgment. In the recruit's case, the mockery she faced for her grip was not an indicator of weakness, but rather a prelude to a moment that revealed extraordinary skill and composure, demonstrating that underestimation can often hide the true strength of individuals waiting for the right moment to shine. Mastery is revealed under pressure, not in idle observation, and this principle is especially evident in environments that test skill, composure, and adaptability. In combat training, it is easy for observers to assume they understand someone's capabilities based on casual evaluation or superficial assessment. Watching a recruit adjust her stance, grip a weapon, or move through drills may give the illusion of understanding, but true mastery only emerges when the stakes are high and immediate action is required. The recruit mocked for her grip provides a compelling example of this phenomenon. As she began her exercise, peers and instructors may have assumed they knew her limitations, focusing on what they perceived as weaknesses. They judged her by appearances, the way she held her weapon, her posture, and the apparent lack of strength or confidence in her grip. However, observation alone is insufficient to gauge true ability. Mastery is cultivated through deliberate practice, repetition, and internalization of skills, much of which occurs away from the gaze of spectators. In this case, the recruit had spent countless hours reinforcing her techniques, building muscle memory, and developing strategies to respond quickly and effectively under stress. The idle observers could not see the preparation, mental discipline, and focus that formed the foundation of her performance. The defining moment came when she was challenged directly, faced with the task of disarming two instructors within seconds. This was the ultimate test of her mastery, a scenario that required instantaneous judgment, precision, and control. In such moments, mastery is not merely about technique. It is about mental clarity, confidence, and the ability to apply knowledge under pressure. Idle observation cannot capture these dynamic elements because they only manifest in real-time action. True skill is fluid, adaptable, and responsive, qualities that reveal themselves fully when conventional expectations are challenged. The dramatic 8-second disarm illustrates how mastery is intertwined with situational awareness. The recruit's ability to assess the instructor's movements, anticipate reactions, and execute her techniques effectively demonstrates that mastery encompasses both physical skill and cognitive acuity. Observers may have assumed she lacked the capability, but under the stress of immediate action, her training and focus allowed her to outperform even those with years of experience in a brief, decisive moment. Mastery under pressure also requires emotional regulation. High-stakes scenarios trigger adrenaline, fear, and self-doubt, any of which can compromise performance. The recruit's composure, calm focus, and ability to execute under scrutiny reveal the depth of her mastery, emphasizing that true competence integrates skill, psychology, and resilience. Observers, even experienced instructors, were forced to recalibrate their assumptions as her actions contradicted their initial judgments. The scenario demonstrates that skill in isolation is insufficient. It must be coupled with the confidence and presence of mind to apply it effectively when consequences are immediate. Moreover, mastery revealed under pressure often has an educational effect on witnesses. Peers and instructors alike gain insight into the gap between perception and reality, learning that observation alone cannot fully capture a person's abilities. This moment challenges conventional notions of evaluation, showing that readiness and expertise are most evident not in controlled demonstrations, but in spontaneous, high-pressure execution. The principle extends beyond combat training. In life, career, or any competitive environment, individuals are often underestimated based on superficial impressions. However, those who have cultivated true mastery through diligence and preparation demonstrate their abilities decisively when faced with unforeseen challenges. The recruit's 8-second feat serves as a testament to the power of preparation, mental fortitude, and applied skill. It also highlights the transformative nature of moments under pressure. A single, brief encounter can overturn assumptions, inspire respect, and redefine reputations. Mastery is not static. It is dynamic and context-dependent. Skills practiced repetitively in training remain latent until the pressure cooker scenario arises, revealing competence in ways that passive observation never could. The story emphasizes that to truly understand mastery, one must witness it in action, under real constraints, with stakes that matter. This principle has implications for mentors and leaders as well. Evaluating capability requires providing opportunities for individuals to act under realistic conditions, rather than relying solely on observation or theory. The recruit's ability to disarm experienced instructors illustrates that true potential is unlocked in moments that test composure, technique, and decision-making simultaneously. Mastery revealed under pressure is a combination of preparation, awareness, and confidence. The recruit's rapid, precise actions exemplify how latent skill becomes tangible when challenged, transforming doubt into astonishment and mocking into respect. It underscores that excellence is demonstrated in the doing, not in the watching, and that those underestimated may possess depths of competence that only emerge when the situ precision, technique, and composure outweigh brute strength. And this truth becomes glaringly evident in high-pressure situations where every action carries immediate consequence. In many training environments, including combat or tactical exercises, observers often equate raw power with competence, assuming that strength alone determines effectiveness. However, the recruit who was mocked for her grip demonstrates that skillful application of technique, guided by composure and mental focus, can surpass sheer physicality. Precision in this context refers not only to hitting a target or executing a maneuver, but to the careful control of movements, timing, and alignment in a way that maximizes efficiency and impact. Technique involves the systematic application of learned methods, honed through repeated practice, that allow a practitioner to respond predictably and effectively to dynamic scenarios. Composure, meanwhile, represents the mental stability and emotional regulation that enables clear decision-making even when stakes are high, pressure is intense, and scrutiny is constant. The combination of these elements is what allows the recruit to perform a feat that surprises even seasoned instructors. When she faced 2 instructors in a rapid, high-stakes exercise, her success was not derived from overpowering them with force. It was a result of deliberate, controlled actions executed with unwavering focus. Every movement was calculated, every shift of balance intentional, and every adjustment in grip and positioning informed by extensive prior training. Observers who relied on assumptions about physical strength were unprepared for the demonstration of skill, as they had failed to recognize that mastery is measured by effectiveness rather than size or force. In practical terms, precision reduces wasted energy and prevents mistakes that can be costly in moments of confrontation. The recruit's ability to respond in a matter of seconds without hesitation illustrates that meticulous technique, refined through countless repetitions, can neutralize opponents who may possess greater raw strength but lack equivalent discipline or coordination. Composure is equally critical because technical skill alone can be undermined by panic, doubt, or overexertion. In high-stress scenarios, physiological and psychological responses, elevated heart rate, adrenaline surges, and cognitive overload can disrupt timing and coordination. The recruit's calm focus allowed her to execute her techniques flawlessly, demonstrating that composure amplifies the effectiveness of precision and technique, creating a performance that is greater than the sum of its parts. This principle extends beyond physical confrontations. It applies to decision-making, leadership, and problem-solving in any high-pressure environment. Those who cultivate precise methods, refine their techniques, and maintain composure under scrutiny consistently outperform individuals who rely solely on strength, intuition, or improvisation. Observers often underestimate the subtlety and importance of these qualities because they are not as immediately visible as raw power. Brute strength is easy to measure. Anyone can see muscular capability or exertion. Precision, technique, and composure, on the other hand, are revealed in execution through the controlled, efficient, and thoughtful application of skill in real-time challenges. The recruit's 8-second disarming of 2 instructors is a dramatic example of how these qualities converge. Her effectiveness was magnified not by the force she applied, but by the accuracy of her movements, the correctness of her technique, and her ability to remain mentally steady while under scrutiny. The outcome challenges conventional assumptions about what constitutes competence or dominance in combat training. Furthermore, the scenario illustrates that skillful technique often involves anticipating an opponent's actions, reading their movements, and responding with the appropriate countermeasures. Precision without situational awareness or adaptability is insufficient, and composure without technical mastery can lead to hesitation or error. The recruit demonstrated an integration of all three, allowing her to act decisively in a moment where others expected her to falter. This integration is the hallmark of advanced proficiency, a seamless alignment of mind, body, and learned skill, allowing for rapid and effective responses. Additionally, the story emphasizes that these qualities can level the playing field, enabling individuals who may appear physically weaker or less intimidating to overcome challenges through skillful execution. Technique and precision, when paired with composure, provide a form of leverage that brute force alone cannot achieve. This has implications for training, mentorship, and evaluation. Those designing exercises or assessing performance must recognize that effective ability is multidimensional. The recruit's performance also serves as a lesson in resilience and self-confidence. Being mocked or underestimated could have undermined her composure, but instead, it heightened her focus, allowing her to translate practice technique into an impressive, rapid result. In essence, the story demonstrates that in combat, training, and life, precision, technique, and composure outweigh raw strength. They are cultivated through preparation, refined through practice, and revealed under pressure. When applied effectively, these qualities enable individuals to accomplish feats that defy expectation, command respect, and redefine perceptions of capability, illustrating that true skill lies in the thoughtful, controlled, and confident application of learned abilities rather than in the mere display of physical pursuit from others can fuel extraordinary performance. And this phenomenon is particularly visible in high-pressure, skill-based environments such as combat training. When peers or instructors express skepticism or underestimate an individual, it can create a psychological tension that, if harnessed correctly, transforms into a powerful motivator. In the case of the recruit who was mocked for her grip, the doubt surrounding her abilities did not diminish her confidence or readiness. Instead, it intensified her focus and determination to demonstrate competence under scrutiny. Human nature often causes individuals to internalize the perceptions of those around them, and doubt can either undermine performance or inspire a heightened response. For the recruit, the mockery and whispered comments served as fuel, reminding her of the stakes and compelling her to apply every ounce of training, technique, and composure she had developed over time. This dynamic illustrates that doubt is not inherently negative. Its effect depends on the mindset and preparedness of the individual it targets. Extraordinary performance is often triggered by an emotional response, anger, defiance, or the desire to prove oneself, which, when coupled with skill and mental discipline, can lead to remarkable outcomes. The recruit's ability to disarm 2 instructors in 8 seconds exemplifies this principle. The doubt expressed by peers and instructors created an environment charged with tension, attention, and expectation, which she converted into heightened awareness and precise action. Doubt functions as a mirror, reflecting perceived weaknesses back to the individual, but it also creates an opportunity for growth and demonstration. When approached constructively, the awareness of skepticism encourages meticulous preparation, mental focus, and the drive to exceed expectations. In this scenario, the recruit's success was not accidental. It was the product of deliberate cultivation of skill and resilience, amplified by the social and emotional pressure surrounding her. The phenomenon also underscores the importance of mindset in performance. Those who allow doubt from others to erode their confidence often falter under pressure. In contrast, individuals who embrace the challenge of disproving skepticism channel it into energy, concentration, and strategic action. The recruit demonstrated this by maintaining composure, reading her opponent's movements, and executing precise, controlled maneuvers despite the scrutiny of instructors and peers. Furthermore, doubt from others often carries implicit expectations. Observers assume that the individual will fail or perform below standard. These assumptions can act as a psychological lever, allowing the underestimated person to redefine expectations when they act decisively and skillfully. The recruit's rapid and effective disarming of the instructors served not only to prove her own capability, but also to alter the perceptions of everyone present, transforming doubt into respect and admiration. This transformation illustrates a broader lesson. Skepticism, when met with preparation and determination, can catalyze extraordinary displays of skill and courage. It encourages individuals to push beyond comfort zones, focus intently on the task at hand, and perform at levels they might not otherwise achieve in neutral circumstances. The social dimension of doubt also plays a role. The presence of observers, some skeptical and some supportive, adds layers of accountability and pressure. The recruit's awareness of being watched and judged heightened her concentration, demanding that every movement be deliberate, precise, and effective. Doubt thus interacts with environmental factors, creating a context in which extraordinary performance becomes possible. Additionally, doubt highlights the contrast between perception and reality. Those who underestimated her were basing their judgments on superficial observations or biases rather than actual capability. The discrepancy between their assumptions and her demonstrated skill underscores the danger of misjudgment and the potential for overlooked talent to emerge dramatically when challenged. The situation also reveals the interplay between emotional intelligence and technical skill. While physical ability and technique are essential, the ability to manage emotions, harness energy from doubt, and maintain clarity under scrutiny is equally critical. The recruit's success was as much a result of psychological mastery as of physical proficiency, demonstrating that extraordinary performance arises from the integration of multiple dimensions of skill. Finally, doubt can have lasting effects beyond the immediate moment. Successfully overcoming skepticism fosters confidence, resilience, and a stronger sense of self-efficacy. The recruit's triumph not only shifted perceptions in that training session, but also reinforced her own belief in her capabilities, providing a foundation for future challenges. The story exemplifies how doubt, when perceived and utilized correctly, becomes more than an obstacle. It becomes a catalyst that drives individuals to rise above expectations, act decisively, and demonstrate extraordinary ability in ways that defy the assumptions of those who doubted them. Underestimation demands immediate, decisive action. Respect is earned through action, not assumptions, and this principle becomes vividly clear in situations where performance is observed under pressure. In hierarchical and high-stakes environments, such as combat training, individuals are often judged by appearances, prior reputation, or assumptions about capability. However, these superficial assessments rarely capture the depth of skill, discipline, and composure that true competence demands. The recruit who was mocked for her grip provides a compelling example of this dynamic. Initially dismissed by peers and underestimated by instructors, she faced an environment in which respect was not automatically granted. Observers had made assumptions based on visible factors such as physical posture, grip strength, and confidence. Yet these judgments proved insufficient in predicting actual performance. Respect, in this context, is not a matter of entitlement. It is a consequence of demonstrated ability, decisiveness, and mastery in action. When the recruit was handed the challenge of disarming two instructors, the opportunity to earn respect became immediate and tangible. Her actions during those critical 8 seconds conveyed more about her capability and character than any prior assumptions or casual observations could. By executing her maneuvers with precision, composure, and effectiveness, she showcased the qualities that command acknowledgement from even the most seasoned observers. This scenario illustrates that respect is fundamentally tied to accountability. When individuals are entrusted with responsibility, the manner in which they fulfill it determines whether respect is conferred. The SEAL instructors implicitly placed trust in her ability to perform a complex, high-stakes task, and her competent execution validated that trust. Respect is thus relational. It emerges from the interplay between the expectations of others and the integrity and skill with which those expectations are met. Furthermore, respect earned through action has a reinforcing effect. Once the recruit demonstrated her capabilities, perceptions shifted almost instantaneously. Peers who had been skeptical or dismissive were compelled to re-evaluate their assumptions, recognizing the discrepancy between prior judgment and observed reality. Instructors, too, had to acknowledge that her skill and composure surpassed expectations, illustrating that respect is not merely a social nicety, but a recognition of demonstrated competence. This dynamic emphasizes that respect is not static, it evolves in response to performance. Initial impressions, no matter how confidently held, are mutable when confronted with evidence of capability. In high-stakes settings, those who earn respect through decisive action inspire both admiration and trust, reinforcing their standing among peers and superiors alike. Respect earned through action also reinforces the importance of preparation and readiness. The recruit's ability to perform effectively in a compressed, high-pressure scenario was the result of prior training, discipline, and mental focus. Without the foundation of skill and composure, respect would have been fleeting or unattainable. Demonstrated competence in the moment crystallizes these underlying qualities, making them visible and undeniable to observers. Another dimension of respect is the interplay between humility and capability. While confidence is necessary to act decisively, it must be balanced with awareness of responsibility and the potential consequences of one's actions. The recruit maintained this balance, executing her maneuvers effectively without arrogance, which amplified the respect she earned. Her actions conveyed both technical proficiency and emotional intelligence, signaling to observers that respect is grounded not only in what one can do, but in how one conducts oneself under scrutiny. The story also highlights the cascading effect of earned respect. Once peers recognize an individual's capabilities, it influences group dynamics, attitudes, and collaboration. The recruit's demonstration transformed the environment, turning skepticism into acknowledgement, mockery into admiration, and underestimation into recognition of latent potential. Respect, therefore, is both an outcome and a social catalyst. Additionally, respect through action is enduring because it is anchored in observable results rather than opinion or hierarchy. Whereas assumptions can fade or be disproven, performance that aligns with skill, discipline, and composure creates a lasting impression. The recruit's 8-second feat at the training floor became a defining moment, a tangible demonstration of why she deserved recognition and esteem. Finally, respect earned through action teaches broader lessons about leadership, evaluation, and perception. Observers learn that assumptions are unreliable predictors of capability, and individuals recognize that consistent preparation, skill, and integrity are more powerful than external judgment. In essence, the recruit's experience underscores that respect is not a gift, an entitlement, or a function of rank. It is the consequence of decisive, skillful, and composed action in moments that matter most, transforming doubt into recognition and reshaping perceptions in ways that endure long after the immediate event. Quick thinking and confidence can turn the tables instantly, and this principle is vividly illustrated in high-pressure environments such as combat training, where split-second decisions determine outcomes. In situations where observers expect hesitation, uncertainty, or failure, the ability to act decisively with clarity and purpose becomes a defining measure of competence. The recruit who was mocked for her grip exemplifies how rapid mental processing combined with self-assured execution can transform an underestimated individual into a dominant force within seconds. Quick thinking involves the ability to assess a dynamic situation, anticipate potential outcomes, and select an effective course of action without delay. In the recruit's case, she was confronted with two instructors whose experience and presence could intimidate even the most seasoned trainees. Her mind had to process multiple variables almost simultaneously: the positions and movements of her opponents, the weight and mechanics of the weapon, the timing required to disarm effectively, and the spatial environment of the training floor. This rapid assessment required not only technical knowledge but also mental agility and situational awareness, all operating under the heightened stress of observation and expectation. Confidence is equally crucial in such moments, acting as the bridge between decision and execution. Knowledge and preparation alone are insufficient if hesitation or doubt interferes with action. The recruit's confidence, grounded in her training, allowed her to commit fully to each movement, trust her instincts, and act without second-guessing herself. This combination of preparation and self-assurance enabled her to perform a complex series of maneuvers flawlessly within 8 seconds, a feat that would have been impossible without both cognitive and emotional composure. Quick thinking under pressure is amplified by experience and repetitive practice. The recruit had spent countless hours mastering her techniques, internalizing movement patterns, and rehearsing responses to a variety of combat scenarios. This preparation allowed her to react automatically and efficiently, reducing the cognitive load in the critical moment. Confidence, therefore, is not arrogance but the trust in one's abilities, cultivated through deliberate effort and consistent reinforcement. The immediate impact of her actions demonstrates how quick thinking and confidence can alter perceptions and social dynamics instantly. Observers, who initially doubted her, were forced to acknowledge her capability as she acted decisively, turning mockery into respect and underestimation into recognition. In high-stakes interactions, the element of surprise magnifies the effectiveness of rapid, confident action. Opponents or observers who expect hesitation are unprepared for immediate, precise responses, giving the actor a strategic advantage. This principle applies broadly. Those who can process information quickly and act with certainty can disrupt assumptions, seize control, and redefine outcomes in any competitive or challenging environment. Quick thinking is closely linked with adaptability. Static knowledge or rote memorization is insufficient when conditions shift unpredictably. The recruit had to adjust her tactics in real time, responding to subtle movements, shifts in balance, and changing positioning of the instructors. Her mental flexibility allowed her to exploit opportunities as they arose, demonstrating that cognitive agility is as important as physical skill in moments that require immediate action. Confidence supports this adaptability by reducing the likelihood of hesitation or self-doubt, ensuring that decisions are implemented decisively. The psychological aspect of this dynamic is significant. Performing under observation, especially when underestimated or mocked, can create internal pressure that disrupts focus. The recruit's ability to maintain composure, trust her judgment, and act rapidly reflects a high degree of emotional regulation, which is essential for transforming potential stress into effective performance. Furthermore, quick thinking and confidence are mutually reinforcing. Rapid, decisive action builds self-assurance, and confidence allows faster, more accurate decision-making. The recruit's success in disarming two instructors in mere seconds illustrates this virtuous cycle. Preparation enabled quick thinking. Quick thinking reinforced confidence, and confidence ensured flawless execution. The story also emphasizes that these qualities can level the playing field against seemingly superior opponents. Experience, physical strength, or reputation alone do not guarantee dominance when faced with an individual capable of rapid assessment and decisive action. The recruit's performance highlights that the underestimated can leverage mental acuity and self-belief to achieve extraordinary outcomes, overturning assumptions and redefining expectations in real time. Quick thinking and confidence are not innate traits. They are cultivated through rigorous training, disciplined practice, and repeated exposure to challenging scenarios that demand immediate response. The recruit's success underscores the importance of preparation, mental conditioning, and trust in one's abilities as essential components for achieving mastery in high-stakes moments. In essence, the scenario illustrates that the ability to process complex information rapidly and act decisively, combined with unwavering confidence, can transform a moment of doubt into one of triumph, demonstrating how skill, mental acuity, and composure intersect to turn the tables instantly and leave lasting impressions on observers and participants alike.